What's up, friends, and welcome into Fantasy Pros. This is Out of Bounds. And guess what? Dad's gone and the kids get to play. It's Bogman and the Welsh here for Out of Bounds right here on Fantasy Pros. No Joe Pizzapia. He is on vacay. He's on a beach somewhere, probably drinking a Mai Tai, whatever is his bag. And we are here for you, where we're going to be hanging out for the next 45 hour or so, and we're going to be doing all the normal fun stuff. So don't you get worried here. We are going to be doing some fact or fiction. We'll be asking for you guys to drop some fact or fiction, some 3-1-1s. We are going to be doing our biggest takeaways and moments of the week. And, you know, Joe likes to do the segment, was it questions with asses or whatever? We got one big major topic. So I'm opening up for you guys to continue to drop questions in the chat. We will highlight some stuff. We will get it up on the big board, and we will be talking to you guys throughout this entire show. Oh, hello, Bogman. Hi, it's us. No dad.
Hello, Welsh. I'm having just a great weekend, my friend.
Really?
Great week. Yeah, the Longhorns win. The Steelers win when not a single person thought they were going to. Not bad. Not a bad weekend here. Love Escalator of Sadness for the Bengals. It's been a good one. We this week.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Yeah,
we do.
There's some escalators of sadness. There's a whole lot of stuff. So feel free, drop your questions in the chat. If you're obviously listening on the podcast front, make sure you guys are joining us live on Twitch. We'll talk about the full Twitch schedule. But remember, 12 p.m. Eastern, Bogman, Joe, myself, 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm sorry, 2 p.m. Eastern. We are here hanging with you guys live, so you guys can hang up on the Twitch, twitch.tv/Fantasy Pros. There's only one big major question to talk about, and then we are going to let you guys decide. Did you watch Jayden Daniels' arm do the things that arms are not supposed to do?
I mean, I know you said you saw it, and you don't typically like those things, but I'll tell you, when I saw the play live, I was working on a sheet, of course, it's what I always do, and I heard, I wasn't really paying attention to the game. It was set, but I heard the crowd go crazy, and I popped my head up. I was looking at the ankle, the knee, something. I did not see it till it came back from commercial. And then they're like, well, we're not going to show it. I was like, I must have missed it because they were bringing his arm away. And I went back and watched it. And went, ooh. Thank God it wasn't his throwing arm for his career. But I mean, you have to feel for Washington fans at this point because they watched RG3 go through debilitating injury after injury to eventually ruin his career. And, Fitzy and I had talked about Jayden Daniels last night, and I texted him, and because he got rocked on one hit before this, and I said, man, every time I see him run, I cannot help but think about, Fitz made this comment that he runs around like a crash test dummy, and he thought he was going to get hurt in his career at some point. And I said, man, I keep thinking about that. And Fitz just sent me back LOL, and then 5 minutes later, this happened, and I said, and there it is. He goes, that is unbelievably brutal.
Yeah, Jackson Dart's kind of a crash test dummy, but I get what they're going with. Yeah, I had the same situation because I was watching, and I thought it was like a hip drop tackle. I thought that was that ended up being the thing. So I was like, oh, this is going to be bad, and like an ankle or something. And then I kind of turned away as it got rolled over, and I did not. So, and I will not. But I did get like a glimpse of someone putting that out there. Absolutely brutal blow, because obviously great player. You don't want that to happen to anybody. Fantasy wise, it was kind of a meaningless point during the game where nothing mattered anymore. You just got him back. He's a top 5 fantasy guy. He also is like, not every quarterback is to this. Like, Mac Jones is just making the normal guys of the Niners relevant. Jayden Daniels is very specific to some of those players. Zach Ertz doesn't exist without Daniels. So he's kind of done. The receivers in general, I mean, Deebo probably still will kind of be able to do his thing because Mariota doing short passes is okay, but it's a brutal situation. And one of our listeners had asked, I think this is a pretty easy question to answer. If I can find it, here it is. Can I get anything for Jayden Daniels at this point? Need a running back? No, not unless it's dynasty. 100% not. Yeah, he's not coming back this year.
Yeah, I can't imagine. They did say no fractures, so just a dislocation, which is insane with the way that twisted and fell on the ground and all of that. But and I did see I saw Deepak put out a good outlook for the future for him, which is more than I would have thought because it looked real nasty when it happened. So it shouldn't be a long-term impacting injury. I kind of thought it was going to be after seeing it, but hopefully, since it's his non-throwing arm and everything, he can be back at the beginning of next year with no issues. But I think there are torn ligaments, Rigsby, but they haven't announced it yet, and I think it's okay because it's in his non-throwing arm, as long as it's not permanently handicapping. So I think he'll be okay for the long term of his career. But you're not getting anything for him this year. I highly doubt he plays another snap.
Awesome, Dev. Dev, did you just wake up? He's like, is this out of bounds? Yes, we were out of bounds. There's just no Joe. He's not here, Dev. 100%. We're answering some your guys' questions, and we'll get into all the stuff and thing. Let's see what's going on with our friends. Hey, boys, what do I do with my running backs? I've got Tracy, Vidal, Mason, Walker, and Monangai. Who should I keep? Who can I cut for other needs? I don't really see a cut in here. The need would be the kind of the important thing to know. Vidal might get cuttable with Hampton looming. Tracy, he also looms around cuttable. You can't do anything with Walker, Monangai. They're untouchable. I'd probably say the same thing about Mason, especially for depth. So if you had to pick one, what's one running back you're going to cut for whatever need? If you were
Vidal, if I have to cut one, it is him. And I know Singletary had more snaps than Tracy last week. So if you wanted to dump Tracy over Vidal, I don't have a huge sway one way or the other between those two. But to me, if Hampton comes back, they're just not giving the ball to Vidal that much at all. So, Jarrett Patterson looked better than him last week. I also wonder if that's, something going on with the looks and the game plan and all that. They knew when Vidal was back there, he was getting the ball yesterday. So, I think he would be the odd man out of that group. That's a good group. Don't really want to cut anybody from it. So,
all right. So American Footballer asked this no less than 35 times in the chat. So just want to really make sure that you get it. Pickens or Adams, and then we'll put it up the other 32 more times.
Okay. Well, hey, look, he got it answered. So
I guess
I'm gonna say Adams, specifically with Puka being in or out right now. So it would be Adams for me, but they're both very good. And they're both wide receiver 2, wide receiver 1 borderline players.
We're reacting to all the week 9 stuff, answering your questions. Get your fact or fictions in. I've already been queuing up some of our fact or fictions. We got some topics to hit, but this is a pretty, I think, popular question coming off of this week. You and I talked about it. I talked about it with everybody because what was my stance going into this week? I'm out on Brian Thomas, but it was more about Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter put on the IR. Then, obviously, the tide turned a little bit. Me and Tom Strachan did the Sunday show. I still laid out my hesitancy. I don't know why I'm having trouble saying that. But I'm having as much trouble saying that as he is as being a relevant wide receiver. And I told Tom, I still don't feel comfortable even without. And I said this on that show. I said, I think Parker Washington outperforms Brian Thomas. And guess what? That is what happened.
This was the game, right? This was the game where no Travis Hunter, you're coming off a bye week. And this is what I was high on BTJ. I'm going to be bad in my wide receiver rankings this week because I had him pretty high as a high-end wide receiver too. I don't know that there's much you can do with him right now. He got hurt. I think next week should be a much bigger, more impactful week should he be able to play. But I just... This might just be a dead year for Brian Thomas Jr. And obviously his value is going to plummet. I'd be buying him up in Dynasty if I could right now when his value is cratering.
What are you going to do now in redraft though? Because I thought it was you that said if he has another bad week, you're going to be done. And he got
hurt.
Okay, but he also had a not good week.
Yeah, but he didn't play after the third quarter and the fourth quarter and overtime. So he had a couple big catches in there before he got hurt, but Parker Washington was performing better than him. So right now he's a bench. You're not dropping him. You can't trade him for anything. So the only answer that we can have is bench him. That's it. And he's probably going to be hurt anyway. So IR him if you can, if they announce that he's going to miss this week. But you would think without Travis Hunter, the game plan should be get the ball into the hands of our best player as many times as possible, and that has not been happening.
You would think. You guys can hang out with us by making sure you grab some subs. You can do it with Amazon Prime. It's free. You can pick up subs, gets rid of ads, supports the channel, gives you extra abilities for like contests and stuff. And then also another way that you can interact is you guys can cheer some bits. And that's what Rose Bandit did. And it kind of gets a front of the line on your question. I'm going to drop Booty. Should I pick up Alec Pierce or Josh Downs for him rest of season? Or I guess the option is Loveland for more tight end depth. That's interesting. You want to know what I did this week? I would love for Jake Seeley to tweet this out. Jake loves to put out tweets about the flex leagues and the interesting things that happen. How about me?
Did you tell him? Did you send him this?
I probably should. How about me picking up Colston Loveland in the flex league where you don't have to start tight ends, starting him and going ballistic because he went crazy. So if you were dropping Booty, Pierce, Downs, or Loveland, if Loveland is more depth, what's the play?
I think the play is probably to keep Booty if he's healthy. But I would, out of that group, I think it would have to be Loveland right now. Just this is a guy who's a first round pick, a high first round pick that they just haven't been able to get involved yet. Now they got him involved here. I think this is kind of, opening up the bottle. I don't think you can put him back in. He's a weapon. I think, it's fortunate for his usage that Cole Kmet was not around the last couple weeks. And I think it's just going to skyrocket from here. Now, he is going to be an inconsistent performer for your fantasy lineup because there's so many guys there. Remember, he did all this while Rome ate the donut. That ain't going to happen every week, right? DJ Moore has had bad weeks as well. Luther Burden was a ghost. I feel like this week, if I'm remembering correctly. Well, there you go. So Zacchaeus had a big week, right? So Zacchaeus and Loveland had huge weeks. Roma Dunze ate the donut. This is going to shift around this entire offense. But you could say the same thing about the Colts. You had 2 Colts options on there. So, but I think Loveland, in terms of talent, is way above those other.
Yeah, Loveland's going to be
all
a
three
huge
of those
big,
guys,
and he's going to be a big waiver piece this week. Someone was asking what's the waiver stuff? I mean, I think Parker Washington is going to be up there. I think Loveland. Those are guys that you should be looking at. Morism with the cheered question: what's going to happen with Jacoby and Pollard? Started both as a lottery ticket. What is going to happen with?
Hopefully they both get
players?
traded. Hopefully they both get traded. Well, Myers has until tomorrow. I don't know how many teams are willing to pay up for Jacoby Myers at this point, or give anything for Jacoby Myers at this point. You would think that Pollard should have some suitors, right? But he hasn't been good this year.
Suitor number 1.
Yeah,
the second suitor.
Would you like a chocolate flavored pretzel?
That's a good note. All right, DVR. Do you want to know top 3 survivor picks and why for this week? How crazy am I for thinking Bears to keep the Bills for later? No, we're in a survivor pool and we're in double elimination. I already looked at this. I looked at this last night. The problem with survivor is like the ones we might tell you,
it's Buffalo.
You might have already used. So
it's Buffalo this week. The Bears over the Giants. Well, he didn't. DVR didn't.
Yeah, so, I'm not saving. You're in week 10, brother.
You go with the best player. Yeah, you go with the best team.
This isn't strategy time to try to save. Like, unless you've got a bunch of great options. You're talking about a Bears team versus the Bills. That ain't happening. We are likely in ours going. I think the Texans. Well, I was going to say the Texans. I forgot that. If Stroud is back, I feel a lot better about that. They're going up against the Jags. Still, I'd say they're an okay option. What were the other ones? Seahawks and the Cardinals. I kind of like the Seahawks.
We take the Panthers over the Saints. Saints are pretty bad.
Yeah, you can, but like ones you feel amazing about.
The only one I feel great about is Buffalo, honestly, out of every matchup. That I feel really, really like that team has no chance to lose. It's Buffalo on the road. That's it. I think everybody else has a chance to lose. My second favorite would probably be Denver over the Raiders, and I hate Denver right now. So. Yeah, I think Buffalo is by far and away the best pick.
All right, shout out to Dev. Dev giving out subs.
Because
he's the man. Dev's the man. And Zikurstik for the sub. Shout out to you guys for the subs. We want to continue giving you shout outs. It's easier when I can pronounce your name. But Zikurstik with the sub. Awesome, Dev, giving them out. You guys hanging out here, you can get those subs and get rid of all those stinky ads. Give you odd boosts for contests. And it is perfect for our entire schedule. So let's take a look at the Twitch schedule. If you're new here, Out of Bounds every 2 p.m. Eastern, me, Joe, and Boggs, when Joe is here, we're hanging for you. Tomorrow on every Tuesday, 12 p.m. Eastern, Bogman and I, we're answering just straight questions for an hour, and then we'll drop some Madden while answering questions. We'll play the coming week action and stuff. Seth and Deebo, Thursdays and Fridays at 1 and 2 p.m. Eastern, and then we got some Sunday action for you at noon. And it looks like that is the Sunday one back on Twitch at 7:30 Eastern? Because I see a note here, and I feel like it wasn't. Is that correct, Bogman?
Your
Sunday show, the Sunday show that you did.
Sunday, it's always been there.
Just question. Sorry,
nothing has happened. YouTube. I was not paying attention because I was thinking of Madden, and I had to go get a bathing suit for my controller because it broke. The controller broke, and I had to get a new thumb piece here. So hey,
Bogman, why don't you tell me what the screen says right there?
It's on YouTube.
Thank you. I asked you if it was on Twitch, and you're like, yeah, brother.
I thought you were asking me if it was still happening, and I said, what the hell are you talking about? Of course it's still happening.
No, of course it's still happening, but we changed it around.
Listen, let me ask you something. All right? When Joe starts reading the ads, are you paying attention to what Joe is saying ever once?
Doesn't have to read ads. I'm not paying attention. No, but I'm demanding some attention. No, yeah, bro. Seriously, that's the face. I was told, by the way, yesterday on the live stream, Sunday live stream, dude, I'm like, okay, everybody, let's go. And my computer did blue screen of death, and I had to restart. Yeah, I had to fix it, and I got back in a couple minutes. But I was told that the screenshot of my face was
better than bro.
I was told it was going to be saved for this show, but I have heard nothing about that. It's going to be
can we get some work done on that, please?
No, the only reason I said it is the Sunday note is on my notes, and this.
No, we're on YouTube now.
Okay,
we're on YouTube.
Finishing with Twitch, Sundays at noon Eastern. You guys can hang here and ask questions, and then you can go over to YouTube at 7:30 Eastern for the full recap. So my notes were just incorrect. That is all. All right, let's get back to it. You guys don't care about that stuff. And let's talk about, we're going to do more of your moments, and I'm kind of throwing it out to you guys as well for your Fact or Fictions. Any Fact or Fictions you want to put in, we are going to be doing the full segment of that. So I would highly suggest starting to put them in, and we will let our boy Seth pick some of the Fact or Fictions that he really likes. But let's talk about some of the key moments and the takeaways. Let's start with moment, actually. Bog, what was your big moment for the week? And I think the one you did is almost like the overarching big moment of the week, I think.
Yeah, Colston Loveland breaking two horrific, some of the worst tackling attempts I've ever seen in my life to break an enormous touchdown and send the Bengals home crying. That was absolutely my favorite moment of the week. I mean, I couldn't pick any of the 6 turnovers. They were all so good for Pittsburgh against the Colts. But yeah, Loveland breaking that huge one. I mean, it was great for fantasy, great for America because the Bengals lost. I loved it. It was my favorite.
I watched it live, as many did, and it was one of the most crazy moments I've seen in that, like, you knew they were driving the ball. He catches the ball. It's the worst tackling of all time. And then followed up with the second worst tackling because he bounces and then he like bounces again. I'll tell you, I'm going to give you a side piece to that moment. One of the best moments was after the game. Chase Brown was interviewed by a bunch of reporters.
Yes, I saw.
And like, he decided halfway through he was going to drop a little F-bomb, but then like, he didn't get in trouble for it, and everyone kind of laughed. So you saw this moment where you like, it's like a child learning that they could cuss, because then all he did was cuss the rest of the. Go look at the interview. He just starts cursing the rest of the way through, and he's almost kind of smiling like, I can do this. Like, it was a total child having.
No, I saw. They also had Jamar Chase wasn't doing it, for the media, but he was like, one effing stop when they're going in the locker room. We had one stop all day. Yeah, the defense in Cincinnati is not holding up their end of the bargain.
No. So because that was the biggest moment, we don't have Joe's moment. Joe gave us nothing, by the way. He's just out on the beach. He just forgot about you guys.
Vacation Joe does not care about out of bounds. So
Welsh and Bogman always care, regardless. Vacation Joe,
vacation or not vacation. Vacation Joe does not like it.
Fact or fiction? Bogman and Welsh care more about you than Joe Pisapia. Just saying. Mine is going to be selfish. This is the moment. Because I sent this to Boggs, but Kareem Hunt absolutely sealing the deal for me. I hit 2 big parlays this week. Not like insane, like the Barstool dudes. They hit this insane quarterback one. Oh, dude, it was this quarterback one that was like $10,
$220,000.
4,000. Yeah.
It was $200
paid combined.
Yeah.
They combined bet for $500 and won $230,000. But I had on the prop show Kareem Hunt as a solo touchdown. I paired him with 2 different props. One was a 4-touchdown parlay, which minutes before Kyron Williams got his 3rd. And then the 2 touchdowns I did on Betting Pros, I had Kareem Hunt and Brock Bowers comboed, sealed the deal, 2 big ones. Yeah. And the next moment, by the way, just going to put this out here, is I need the chat's decision here. I know it's not a betting show. If CeeDee Lamb can get 100 yards tonight. I asked Bogman this. If he can get 100 yards, let me tell you what the parlay is, and then we'll move on here because now I'm forgetting what it was because I sent it to Bogman. If CeeDee Lamb can get, oh yeah, here it is. It's plus 5,700. CeeDee Lamb 100 yards. Do I buy it out? And it's like it's a nice little payday, or do I continue and let it ride if CeeDee Lamb has to get 100 yards tonight? Do I ride it or do I cash out?
I mean, I think they both go off, but like a twisted ankle, a hurt toe, a busted finger. Like there are so many ways to not get this that I would cash it out. But
the chat, well, here's the chat. Ride.
Yeah.
Ride.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Like,
well, it's easy to say ride when it's not your money. That's what I'm saying. I'm your friend. I'm saying to cash it out. I'm also a coward.
That is true. So YOLO. Yeah, you did say you're like, I'm a coward. I would cash out. So everybody is.
But listen, I have CeeDee Lamb as my 3-1-1 pick from last week to get 100 yards.
I know. That's the thing. All right. So at this moment, I'm writing it out. It's plus 5,700. All we need is CeeDee for 100 yards because I had 300 yards passing for Darnold.
So cash out. Like everyone's telling you to let it ride. You
100%.
Out, right?
I had 300 yards passing for Darnold and 100 yards rushing for McCaffrey. So this is it's a 3-1-1 bet, by the way. It's a 3-1-1 bet that I created, and I would need CeeDee Lamb. All right, takeaways. Let's get your takeaway from week 9.
I think that the Raiders may have fixed the offense a little bit. Obviously, having Brock Bowers back opens up just everything, right? So I think that is obviously a massive piece, but we also saw them coming out of the bye week throw the ball to Ashton Genty out of the backfield, and that worked. He scored a touchdown. It kept him in this game. They should have lost multiple times to the Jaguars, but they pushed it to overtime. They went for 2 and just didn't get it. So, they were right there on the doorstep, and the offense looked way better, and Geno didn't throw 8 million interceptions. So I think the offense might be fixed a little, not all the way, obviously, but getting Brock Bowers back is so huge, and to commit to throwing the ball to Genty is what they've needed to do all year, and they did it in this game.
Yeah, we had a really lucky. I've told people about this. We do the pentathlon. It's a league that our friend Derek Van Riper started. Bogman and I share a team. Fitzy's in it. It's a bunch of industry people, and we have to do 5 events. And you do Superflex. There was the Superflex auction, Best Ball, Pick, Survivor, and then DFS. I did the DFS this week, and I put Geno and Bowers in. And it did not look good to start. And we crushed. We got first place in that. So that really worked out. It was a solid week, but that's why I'm a little dicey on the picks here. But I appreciate it. We got a lot of let's ride. So you guys feel free to keep rocking. My takeaway this week, take it for what it is. And whenever I do these, I don't know what my track record is. I don't know how many I've done. I did this with Quinshon Judkins, and I want to say I did this with one other. But Kamanangai might just be him. From this week, obviously, he blew out the yards and stuff. He had the most yards. But what I'm always going to look at is what are the things under the hood that's going to help us in making this go forward? Well, something I was really impressed with. He had the most yards of any running back with carries, because I want to note this. Number 1 was technically Brian Robinson. Do whatever you want against the Giants. But of any significant running back with carries, Kamanangai was number 1 in yards after contact. So remember we talked about this with the Broncos, where the Broncos were so interesting. Their offensive line has done well because it creates, almost 3 yards per carry before contact. And then you have these backs like J.K. Dobbin, who's getting another 3 yards after contact. Well, Monangai, before contact was solid. It was 2.5 or something like that. But he averaged the most yards after contact this week of any running back. Well, he also had massive success in both zone and scheme running. So it wasn't in one spot. He didn't do this all off of just explosive plays. It was like a 8% explosive play. And he had a 70% success rate. That is of yards that are going for positive amounts. All of those things. The team. I just completely blanked on.
Since the Cincinnati
Bengals?
Cincinnati.
Yeah. No. I understand that. Bengals are not good.
Yeah.
But he didn't just like do these things and have like 89 yards. He rushed for the most yards in the NFL this week. He almost put up 200. He got volume. He found great success. I don't think he's going to do this every week. But I think these are things that you can carry in and you can say, wow, there's some really great underlying things that means they have to have him go further. I think the Bears pull a Kyler Murray like, Swift, you're still injured. Like you're not going to play next week. And I think Monangai kind of keeps running with it. And I think this could be similar to a Chuba Rico situation where Monangai just takes it. Either way, he's going to get more volume. I think he looks phenomenal under the hood. And I think you can feel very positive about Kyle Monangai moving forward after looking at what he did this week.
Your explanation I love is I was in a car accident one time and my grandmother, I remember, she's like, how's your neck? I'm like, I feel okay. She's like, maybe it hurts,
Yeah, and maybe it's not good.
It made me think of you going, DeAndre Swift, maybe you're still hurt here. What I suggested on the show last night was probably I think more should go to Monangai. I think he's a better runner than Swift. I think what this game does is move this to a 60-40 backfield in Monangai's favor. He's the early down guy more often than Swift is. And you want Swift running against those gas defenses because he's so fast, which has worked out better for him when they've been splitting these carries anyway. So I think this game, and it was obvious he was going to get all the carries, right? So, he was he was the only guy left. Swift out, Roschon Johnson out. They brought up Brittain Brown from the practice squad, who's mainly a special teamer. So he was going to get all the carries anyway. It was against Cincinnati. So those things are like, okay, well, he has the volume. He has one of the worst tackling defenses in the NFL. So obviously he's going to have a good game. I didn't know it was going to be this good. It was excellent. Ran all over them. They put up so many points. I think this shifts the backfield to his favor, 60-40. I think that's what it does.
Guess who they play next week?
Who do they play?
Giants.
The Giants. Yeah.
700
another good
yards
matchup.
rushing.
Let's go.
Like
700.
Madden on rookie. It's Madden on rookie is what it is. That's what we should do. We should play on Tuesday. We should do Bears and Giants, and then I'll just be the Bears with Kyle Monangai. Just going.
You're only allowed to run?
Yeah, I'll be the
Giants if you're only allowed to run the ball.
And then you can only run the ball or throw to Wandale.
No, I can only I can run with Dart all I want.
You can run with Dart or throw to Wandale. You get two moves. I can only give the ball to Monangai. I can pass to him or run to him.
Well, let me tell you something. If I was the Giants anyway, the only stuff I'd be doing is running with Jackson Dart and throwing to Wandale. So the game plan would not change that
He's
much.
Like, that's why I am the thing with Bears for sale. I forgot the Bears do play the Giants. The Giants can be sneaky, though. So the run guy, common on guy. I like that a lot, actually. That's a really, really good one. All right. It is Fact or Fiction time. So get your Fact or Fiction in. I want you guys to, I know you guys have been doing them. We've been saving some up. If you got some new ones and you get Seth's attention, he will cue it up. But before we do, let's talk about giveaways. Oh, yes, my friends. We have partnered with TrophySmack to bring you the ultimate symbol of fantasy football dominance, the ESPN Fantasy Football Championship ring. Dun, 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 dun. This heavyweight solid metal ring is built to turn heads and let your entire league know the champ is here. To enter, all you got to do is comment on any of our Twitch streams this week at twitch.tv/fantasypros. And as always, Twitch subscribers are going to get a 1.5 odds boost at winning. Just as a thank you for support, we'll be announcing the winner on Tuesday, November 11th. I believe we are announcing a winner tomorrow or today, whenever you're listening to this. On the Tuesday streams, I think we've kind of been relegated to announcing the winners. And I believe, or did you guys do one last week? Did you do a winner last week, Boggs?
On the
because I wasn't here.
I don't.
Anything. Did you do any winner giveaway last week?
I definitely did, but I honestly don't remember which show it was on.
Okay, because I actually remember. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's the thing.
Because I know Awesome Dev won something.
No, that's what it was. I knew Awesome Dev won, and then I wasn't there for it, and I wanted to be there for Awesome Dev. That was very exciting because I knew that was happening, but I missed the show. We'll be announcing this next Tuesday, so make sure you're hanging out with us. Come into the live streams, and bam! Oh my gosh, you already received the jersey. See, look at that. Big wins for big winners here. And Dev is a sub, so he got the 1.5.
All you gotta do is answer your whisper. Answer the whisper.
All right. Fact or fiction? You guys are dictating what the fact or fiction is, so keep them rolling. Fact or fiction? Reapers, fact or fiction, BTJ is droppable between the targets and injury in week 9.
I'm going to say fiction in most spots. If you're in a 10-man and there's great options on the wire, sure. But I think in most spots, I'm just not dropping BTJ. That's a Titanic pick. You picked him so early, you got to go down with the ship, in my opinion.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Like, you'd have to be playing like a 10-man league where there's really good options. He technically, if he is going to continue playing, he is like the 1, even though it's going to work like a 2. I just don't
like
know
you're going to drop him
better.
for Alec Pierce. Is that what we're doing?
No.
Josh Downs. What if DJ Moore was out there? You drop him for DJ Moore?
Probably not.
That happened
DJ
in
Moore.
a couple spots.
Yeah, I don't know. Fact or fiction? Bowers is a league winner if healthy.
Fact forever, always.
Big fact. We had somebody. I mean, I gotta do the hands up on 2 things on the Sunday stream. Hands up. We had somebody bring in a Torrey Horton question, and I could not be more dismissive of it because I know Pizzapia was all about him. To be fair, it was like Horton versus not a who, but like a incredibly good
all the
player.
who's in Whoville.
And
I would take Torrey Horton over all of them.
No one was picking Horton over this guy, but the other one, we had someone that was like, "Hey, should I start these other tight ends before Bowers?" And me and Tom were like, No, don't even consider it and think about it. And he's a league winner. The only reason he wasn't like number 1 overall is McBride. That's it.
We're living in the timeline where Brock Bowers is the best tight end in the league by a wide margin. That's the timeline we're in.
Okay. So, all right.
When healthy.
Versions. Ghosty, fact or fiction, Rashee Rice outscores Justin Jefferson rest of season. We actually saw some would you trade Jefferson for Rashee Rice trades this weekend.
I mean, I think that could easily be fact. I think they'd probably be within 10 or 15 points of each other at this point.
So that is your decision. Well, you got to be decided. You have to pick.
Okay, I'll say fiction then. I'll take Justin Jefferson because I don't like Rashee Rice, but that's it.
Why don't you like Rashee Rice? You don't like how he drives?
I really don't like that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if you didn't like him on field or like his
No. It's off the field. On the field, he's amazing. He's great.
Yeah.
But
it kind of got shut down a little. Like the Chiefs definitely can bring things down a little bit. I actually thought McCarthy looked good. I know this isn't on here, but I was very I'm not interested in JJ McCarthy with how he looked before he got injured. He's
still only like 14 of 25. He didn't have a great game, but he looked better.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like he didn't look completely lost, completely overmatched like he did 6 of his 8 quarters or whatever. Threw a really nice ball to Jefferson. I actually think that's kind of encouraging. So I'm going to still say Jefferson, but they're razor thin.
We're talking razor thin. So if you're doing a trade with both those guys in it, just consider that an even swap at this point.
Fact or fiction from Dev. You should be asking a Genty question. My RB strategy in 1 league depends on Pollard getting traded.
I hope that's fiction.
Is that? Yeah, I don't know how to answer
where
that.
is Pollard getting traded where he's so much better? Houston? They can't
I see how this is being phrased. This is being phrased if he gets traded to be a 1, that's going to help the team.
I mean, Houston and I guess Houston and Kansas City. Where else can he go?
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of destinations. I just don't think Pollard. I don't think Pollard will improve anywhere he goes.
Jacksonville could really use a Tank Bigsby right now instead of running the same dude at the goal line
for all those wins that they're stacking up.
No, they won yesterday.
Fact or fiction, Jacoby Myers had potential to be a high-end wide receiver 2, low-end 1 on another team. Has potential
Absolutely
on another
fact.
team.
Yeah. Jacoby Myers, I think, is still a good wide receiver. So, yes. But Gino needs to throw to sure things like JSN and Bowers, not to a pretty good wide receiver like Jacoby Myers.
I'm going to say this is fiction because what team could he go to right now that you can't do the teams that stink. You can't do stinky teams that would never trade.
I was going to say the Rams. If you put him in LA, he would have been much better. He would have been 3rd on the pecking order, but he would have been way better.
But you cannot be a high-end wide receiver 2 or low-end 1 on that team. So that's why I say it's fiction. I don't think there's a scenario where he can be like a top 15 wide receiver anywhere right now.
I mean, it would have to be injuries plus.
But those are make-believe things. Right now, this moment.
Is this not what we're doing? Are we not putting scenarios in if he was on a different team? That's all make believe.
No. No, that's but I'm saying I thought you were saying like, well, if he goes to another team and there's other injuries and you're doing all this make believe stuff, if he goes to another team,
it's all make believe, dude. Okay. He's not going anywhere else, so no one's trading for him.
If he goes to a team, what's the team that makes him like that without creating scenarios where another guy how the team is this moment?
Yeah, I still think he's a good wide receiver, but there's not a situation that he could realistically go to become a wide receiver 1 or 2.
I just did find one, maybe.
Where?
Bucks. He gets the number 2 on the Bucks, maybe. I still don't. I still going to say it's fiction, but that's like the closest I can come up with.
Yeah, I mean, he goes to Pittsburgh. It doesn't matter. They don't throw the ball enough, right? He goes to Miami. It doesn't matter. Tua sucks, right? Like,
yeah, they would never. They're 2-7.
Yeah, well, I'm just putting him spots that need wide receivers or have been looking for wide receivers, right? There's just the Giants, maybe. Yeah, that's not a bad one, but I don't know if he becomes a wide receiver 1.
Bills,
he doesn't.
He's just one of 70.
All he is Shakir 2.0 in Buffalo. So
Brown.
No one can get him the ball in Cleveland.
Doug Gabriel is your quarterback. Doesn't do anything with it. So that's the tough thing.
Gabriel.
I was about to say Doug Gabriel. Yeah. Dylan Gabriel.
Didn't Doug Gabriel play baseball?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What was Doug Gabriel? I want to say Doug
There's
Gabriel.
Probably
was he a wide receiver?
Doug Gabriel's.
I'm thinking of Doug Baldwin. I was going to say, was he a wide receiver for the Seahawks? Let's play that. We'll play that name game where we just start naming players. Who is Doug Gabriel?
Isaiah Kaczynski.
Can you find one? All right, fact or fiction. Let's find one. Monangai will 50-50 split with Swift when he comes back. I think
it's 60-40 in Monangai's favor.
Okay. Doug Gabriel.
Ease Swift back in. He doesn't need to be getting those between the tackle carries when Monangai is, knocking over everybody. Give him to Monangai.
Yeah, I say fiction. I was right. Doug Gabriel was a wide receiver, but it was for the Raiders. He was a 5th-round pick in 2003, played at UCF. Did he only play for the Raiders too?
Doug Gabriel.
Yeah.
How are you looking at his what was his
Seth
career?
Just posted that.
Well, what was his career yards and receptions and stuff?
I don't know. Fact or fiction, there's still a trade destination that makes Brees an RB1 rest of season.
Fiction.
Yeah, I think it's hard for him to be where could he go that he could be the workhorse?
Houston's the only spot, and they're not run blocking well enough. He could probably still be a borderline like he is right now in Houston, but I don't know if it improves him so much. So, fiction.
Gabriel was also a Patriot, Bengal, and a bunch of other fake teams in the Canadian Football
Argonauts.
League. He had 101 receptions, 1,500 yards, and 8 touchdowns in his career. That would be a great season, but that was his career. Doug Gabriel. Misspeak.
I mean, look, lived in the league for a long time, so that's great.
Fact or fiction, Travion outscores Woody Marks rest of season.
I'll say fact because I think I have to. I think I bot committed to Travion Henderson at this point and singing his praises. So I'll say yes. I love that he got 52 snaps this week and way more touches, just didn't get home with them. So
who was the other guy that they brought in? Jennings?
Who? Terrell Jennings, who scored. I had to pick him up.
Fact or fiction, Terrell Jennings outscores Travion Henderson the rest of the season.
Fiction, damn it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Has to be fiction.
Fact or fiction, Horton has done enough to warrant a look. Rose. Rest of the season, but they're not. It's just not going to be at the. If Cooper Kupp is out, yes, it'll just be some targets. It's not going to be at the expense of Cooper Kupp fully.
Do you think that? So, like, if you're an NFL team right now, do you want Torrey Horton or do you want Cooper Kupp in your starting lineup?
I think you want Torrey Horton right now. I mean, I think also from an NFL perspective, the guy can like special teams. He's kind of a burner. He's making a huge game. I think Torrey Horton has to play.
I think Torrey Horton is. Yeah, I think he's done enough to play over Kupp. We'll see.
Fact or fiction, Brashard Smith just isn't going to happen this season. You're just not that into him.
Fact.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a fact too.
You can't do it when Pacheco's down. When are you going to do it?
You guys are dropping a lot of like tonight-based ones, which I'm not going to do. But fact or fiction, Rice over CeeDee rest of season. I'll still take CeeDee.
I'm going to say fiction on that. I want CeeDee still.
A couple more. Fact or fiction, Deebo's no longer a reliable wide receiver 2 with Daniels out.
Fact.
Yeah, it's the word reliable. He's somewhere between a wide receiver 2 and 3, but he is not reliable anymore. So that
if you switched him and Jacoby Myers teams, I think you'd want Jacoby Myers. So, yeah, I'm gonna say fiction.
A lot of Rice ones, a lot of crazy ones. This one we kind of just did. It's like back to fiction. Hendo runs away with the starting job. No, he does not run away with any job because he never gets the job. So that's fiction, unfortunately.
Yeah, he would start running away from it, and then Mike Vrabel would say no, back to the bench.
He would take him out and let Ramondre finish that drive.
Yeah, no, sorry. Here's Terrell Jennings for the touchdown. There you go.
Dude, I said it on the show too. I was like, everyone's like, it's Ramondre week. And I'm like, yeah, it is. But like,
or Henderson week, you mean?
Yeah. Wait, yeah, it's Henderson week. I'm sorry, but just wait till Jennings gets like a goal line carry, and you guys all just absolutely lose your minds. Ridiculous here. All right, let's do some 3-1 on here in just 1 second, and then we might get to a couple more questions right at the end of the stream. So make them keep going. But before we do anything, we had quite a few people in the chat reminiscing about all the stuff we've done on Discord. Couple of people gatekeeping too, being like, I wish I was back on the Discord. Well, guess what? We're on the Discord, baby. And Out of Bounds used to be kind of like a Discord only show, but we've got other shows. And you can join us by going to the Fantasy Pros Discord community today at fantasypros.com/chat. You can hang with other amazing people who from the Discord are in here, like Dev and Dredis. They're always hanging out in there. Be a part of that community. Join exclusive AMAs, and you can even get onto exclusive podcast feeds. We currently have got Worm and Fits at 5 p.m. Eastern on the first Tuesday of each month, which would be, I think, actually coming up tomorrow or today. Tomorrow as we're recording this. Boggs and Fits at 5 p.m. Eastern on the third Tuesday of every month. And then me and Erickson every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern for the Extra Point. Come and get your questions answered. Be on the show, produce the shows at fantasypros.com/chat. Do it today, and you can join up the Discord for free. I think you just have to have like a free Fantasy Pros account. You can go into those shows, and then if you want to get premium, you can do it. Bam, Fatherman, another Discord for the win. So there you go. Let's see. Wait, what does Dredda say? I personally prefer Twitch and Discord over YouTube. Don't let the YouTube overlords see this.
Oh, Lordy.
There you go. All right, 3-1-1 contest. Everybody got a little bit of something this week. Look how happy I am because I got Christian McCaffrey. I did not get Patrick Mahomes. I missed Amon-Ra St. Brown by 3 stupid yards. Joe, he got JSN. He stunk on the other sides, but we have something brewing. Bogman got Derrick Henry. He has a chance to be the first, and I think first ever, if Dak can throw for 100 or 300 yards and CeeDee can go for 100. And if CeeDee gets the 100, I'm rooting for you more than anything, because if CeeDee gets 100 and I let this ride, cash rules everything.
Are you going to let it ride?
Cream,
why don't we just get an answer right now, Welsh? Are you going to let it ride, or are you going to
get the money? Dollar bills, y'all.
I'm not giving you the answer right now, by the way. That's
translation. I think I'm going to let it ride. The only thing I
Welshism.
haven't done is I wanted to look. Someone look this up for me, and I'll confirm.
What would your wife say? Well, let's play that game.
Oh, 100%. She asked me the other day. I've had 2 weeks of really good wins, and she's like, "Why don't you bet more?" And I'm like,
"Oh my god."
I'm like, "Well, because if I lose, you're not going to be happy about that. If I lose those." And then she's like, well,
who mortgage, cares? Babe.
Yeah, she's like, "Who cares?" And I'm like, "Trust me, you'll care.
You will
care if I go on a big old losing streak." So I need to see how many have the Cardinals cornerbacks given up over 100 yards to a wide receiver, because I'm just
it's the number one corner there, Will Johnson, is 24th in coverage grade, and I don't know that he's given up a 100-yard game yet. But CeeDee Lamb consistently burns corners that haven't given up 100-yard games. So,
yeah, is there any chance Pickens could get that coverage?
Yeah, maybe. It's definitely possible. So I got Dak, I got CeeDee Lamb tonight.
And that's the point. You could be the first ever that could do this. You could be the first
when they go
ever
300, 100. Just know I'm getting a crown next week. So
and on that graphic, I'm sorry, what was it? Can you put it back up here? I was talking over the whole time of it. I have 5. Joe's got 8. If this is fully updated, did you update yours, Bogman? Okay,
they did. Yeah,
Bogman can take the lead with 9 and do the first ever if you cash both on Monday Night Football. So very, very exciting stuff here. For mine for this week, I'm going to go with, for week 10, Justin Herbert going up against your Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm one of the highest rates passing in the NFL. I think they're going to have a little bit more success on that front. Obviously, we're down on Kamani Vidal a little bit. You guys are banged up. Justin Herbert, I love this one. And I am jumping right in the waters. Kyle Monangai. I'm not going with no Jonathan Taylor. I'm not going with no Christian McCaffrey. James Cook, you got. I am going with Kyle Monangai versus the Giants because they absolutely stink. If there's no Swift, it's going to be all Monangai. I love that one. And Drake London is one of the most ridiculous receivers in the NFL. Christian Gonzalez is like one of the best. Drake London is just mossing him, stepping over him, catching every touchdown, and he's going up against a Colts secondary that kind of stinks. So Drake London, Kyle Monangai, Justin Herbert, that is my 3-1-1 for this week. What do you got, Boggs?
I feel more confident with this week than I did on my one that I might hit this week. So probably because I was the first to get to the sheet here. But Jared Goff at Washington. I mean, we just saw Sam Darnold carve up a Washington secondary. They look miserable. They lost Lattimore as well. And I think we might get the give up on the Commanders this week. Typically, that's a college thing and not an NFL thing. I know indoor cat playing outdoors, all of that. I don't care. Washington's secondary looks ridiculously bad right now. We're going to go James Cook versus Miami. James Cook, one of the best runners in the NFL right now, and Miami has been pathetic. We were talking about it on the Thursday show that they were 28th against the run. Didn't do themselves any favors facing Derrick Henry last week. So still a bad run D against James Cook. And Justin Jefferson versus Baltimore. We talked about how, we think that this offense is better with McCarthy. This is your number one option. Pepper him with targets. That's what McCarthy should be doing. And I think it's going to get done against Baltimore. And Baltimore should score some points. I like that game to be a bit of a shootout.
I like it. I think you're in a good spot. We have apparently some people in the chat are saying it, and I'm looking for it. Is there a Cowboys trade? Because Callie just said, are we seeing anything about this trade? I don't know if he's referring
I saw Jalen Phillips got traded. That was the last trade I think I saw.
When was that?
That was this morning where they traded for Jalen Phillips from the Dolphins. Okay. Here it is. Hold on.
CeeDee Lamb to what team?
No. Now, all I see is Cowboys moves. They place Sanborn on injury reserve, activated Cooper Beebe, signed Malik Davis, and elevated.
Yeah, so here's what everyone's referring to. Cowboys Jerry Jones on SiriusXM just said Dallas has made a trade and could possibly make a couple more before tomorrow's deadline. So I wonder if he's referring to the trade that you just saw, or this is another one that's looming. So just know the Cowboys look like they're going to be some movers and shakers.
I'm not seeing it on Schefter. Let me see if Rappaport.
Yeah, it's on like NFL trade rumors. But the trade isn't not being announced. There's nothing.
Okay,
but there is a trade that is looming out there. That is the thing. By the way, going back to my note, you are right. PFF grade. This is rough. Will Johnson ranks 24th of 116. Max Melton is 60 of 116, and their safeties, Jalen Thompson is 29th of 86 in safety. So it's not
Boot is good as well. Like, yeah, this is the secondary's been good for the Cardinals this year, but I don't think it matters because Dak has carved up everybody. We talked about this last week. Yeah. I said, look, if they had been winning games and their defense wasn't so horrible, we'd be talking about Dak as an MVP candidate. He's having that good a year, just nobody notices it because the defense is giving up so many points.
So here is a note, though. Panthers, 3 teams against the Cardinals in 7 weeks have had a wide receiver go for over 100. Tetaroa McMillan did it. He had 6 for 100. Ricky Pearsall, 8 for 117. And Calvin Ridley, 5 for 131.
What was this in the 1800s when those guys were playing?
This is all this.
When was the last time Calvin Ridley and Ricky Pearsall played?
I that's what I'm looking at. This is this year. Here's the common denominator, though. And this is interesting. Well, I guess it's not 100%. All 3 of those wide receivers, 10 or more targets. So 10 or more targets. So the question
Lamb's
is,
getting 10 targets.
Do I let it ride?
F it. Let it ride.
We're letting it ride,
go.
baby. 5,700 plus 5,700. We're letting it ride, baby. So you need Dak I need Dak to throw the ball. We need CeeDee for 100. I'm cashing money. Bogman is going to be cashing the 3-1-1. It'll be a beautiful thing.
We're going to be sweaty for Monday Night Football.
And we got some sweats. We got some absolute sweats. So you guys can come and hang out on the Discord and all the shows and make sure you're sweating with us, and make sure to come and join us on Tuesday where Bogman are going to be answering questions, and you'll know how happy we are going to be. Leaving here, last question, Worthy or Deebo rest of season? I saw someone, I think it was a Fact or Fiction I might have missed, where they said Fact or Fiction, Xavier Worthy, a cut. So who would you rather have rest of season, Worthy or Deebo? And then I guess you could throw Josh Downs. I don't think Josh Downs jumps into this, but which one of those guys would you rather have?
I guess Deebo has a better chance to be a 1, so it would be Deebo, but not by a ton. They're both not good options right now. They keep throwing the ball to stupid Marquise Brown. Yeah. I don't get it. Worthy if he had not got hurt week 1, if Travis Kelce had not clipped him, I think he would be much bigger in this offense. I think it would have been a bigger impact those first couple weeks, and I think Mahomes wouldn't want him to move when Rice came back, but he did get hurt, so we're not living in that timeline.
So we talked about some betting in this one. We're talking about the 3-1-1 in here. I haven't done it all season. I put together a 3-1-1 prop bet. That's what we're playing for. You guys can also track all your bets and more, and you can get 1 month of BP Premium. Special offer. Unlock a month of Betting Pros Premium for free. Download the Betting Pros app today and use promo code FP1month. Access to Same Game Parlay Tool, Prop Bet Analyzer, and the Prize Picks Prop Bet Cheat Sheet. Don't miss out. Try it for free for 1 month. It's on iOS and Android. You can follow your favorite people. You can see our bets. They've got the cool calendar view. You can see what bets we're on. There's a bunch of really cool tools that have suggested bets. I can't tell you enough how amazing it is. And you can get full access for 1 month with FP1 month. Use that code. Follow along. You can tail my crazy parlays. I don't like to say a bunch of them either, because I'm bets on the shows, which you guys get on BP, but then I have some stuff where I'm like, I'm messing around, and I'm messing around's been
doing
pretty
the
good.
mess around. Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. That's it. Hopefully Joe's enjoying the beach, having some Mai Tais or whatever you do in November in Florida. I'm assuming that's where he's
in Turkey. We all know it.
Yeah, he's doing something crazy, something nefarious. But Bogman and Welsh, we're always here for you. We love you guys. Hopefully you hang out with us on all the shows. Make sure you're on the twitch.tv/fantasypros. Get sub. Don't miss any of the action. Shout out to Callie and Seth behind the scenes and all of you guys for Out of Bounds. It's Bogman Welsh. We're out for now. Peace.
Soil.
Let it ride, baby.
Let it ride.
It's going to have 99 yards, and I'm going to just...
There's glass half empty.
Yep.
And set on fire.